Hello and welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. Today will be a player ratings episode. We'll be doing the player ratings for Arsenal versus Manchester City. I have with me my co-host, proud Arsenal supporter, Mr. Raziz. How are you doing, bro?
I'm okay, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Not a bad performance I felt from Arsenal. I think in the beginning, like for 10 minutes, was all City, but after that, they got into the game. But I think the disappointing part would be that they didn't get clear-cut chances, if I'm not
Yeah, I'm
mistaken.
sure. Absolutely. I think first 10 minutes, I mean, we gave away that goal, which was unfortunate. I mean, against a team like City, you can't afford to do that. I think that was a very soft goal to give away. And then after that, also when we were in the assertive, I didn't think we created enough. And a lot of that has to go with the fact that some of the forward players are lacking that sharpness. And unfortunately, apart from Saka, I thought that the front line had a little bit of a poor game, and I think that midfield didn't help them as much as I would have liked them to help. Midfield would have I would have liked the midfield to help the attackers a little bit better, and that didn't happen, unfortunately. So I think I thought after the first 10-15 minutes, I thought the defenders did okay. I thought they started
They
stepping
grew
it
into
up a
the
little
game.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started stepping it up a little bit, but overall, I thought still that we could have. I thought it was in City's best performance, and
Hmm.
we could have nicked something out because City didn't get out of third gear,
Do
and
you
they
think
still beat us. So.
City? This is my opinion because I noticed them against United as well. Do you think City, after they got the first goal, there's a bit of reluctance to over attack because of their history where they get hit on the counter, especially that happened against Arsenal as well in the FA Cup. So it happened against United in the Premier League last season. So do you think this is like a proper effort from Guardiola, like to make sure that his team, yeah, they play beautiful football, but don't over attack?
I mean, if it is, then that's a big deal for someone like a City because they're usually not known to doing that. But
Yeah, I mean they
yeah,
had their
it's
chances, but you could see that they were letting Arsenal come at them.
yeah. I think they set up pretty well also at the back. I think that the fact that Stones, Cancelo, Diaz, and Zinchenko they're doing so well that I think that helps. But I think I think whatever the tactics were, I think it worked out pretty well, and they didn't need to go get past third gear. I mean, they were comfortable, and Arsenal just wasn't sharp enough on the day.
Yeah, no, exactly. I completely agree with you. Let's go with the player ratings. Let's go Arsenal first, and then
Yeah,
City.
sure.
You want to do City or Arsenal? Okay, let's go. Bird, Leno, and goal.
I mean, he couldn't have done anything about that goal, Like, I mean, it was a very well-headed goal. He was completely. I mean, he was blindsided by that whole thing. I don't think he could have done anything about that goal. Apart from that, I thought he was okay. I think whenever he was called upon, I think he did a decent job. He was uh, uh, taking he was very assertive in his goalkeeping, and that's what I like about him. Sometimes that results in him getting outside the box and touching it unnecessarily, which is when he got the red card. But I think he's a decent goalkeeper. I think I mean, he's an incredibly good goalkeeper, not only a decent goalkeeper. I think he's been Arsenal's player of the season over the past 2 seasons almost. So, under
Oh,
decent
big
performance.
call.
I think so. I mean, I think over the past 2 seasons, since Arteta has taken over, he's been immense, and we didn't miss him because Emi Martinez was good even in that long term injury that he had, because Emi was also very good. But I think that he's been incredible. Like, the likes of with due respect, like when you see Allison goof up, it is costing Liverpool. I don't think that there's been that kind of a goof up or anything. A lot of players, a lot of goalkeepers are going through those phases, but I don't think that so far good. Luckily,
There
never
was a
has
goof
happened
up,
to
right?
him.
The one when he came
There was
outside.
that one. It is a one game ban, so I guess it's not terrible.
I agree.
Uh,
I agree with you. Sorry that he's a good goalkeeper, but he's no Emi Martinez.
Yeah, I think he's better. So
But yeah,
I think he
yeah.
couldn't do much with the goal. So I'll give him a 7 on 10. I thought he was okay. I thought he was pretty
Seven
decent.
out of 10. Yeah, he didn't concede more than one goal. And then moving on, Hector Bellerin. I mean, some people said the first goal wasn't his fault; it's more Holding's fault. But I felt he could have done better. I think Sterling was like in the middle of both of them. So of course he's involved. What did you think about his performance?
I think that not only the goal. I think overall, I think Sterling was running riots around him. I think he wasn't able to handle Sterling as well as
Space.
you would like. Yeah, his pace as well as you'd like someone like a right back to do. And it's unfortunate because I think after the ACL injury, he's lost half a yard of space, and that's really bothering. I mean, that's really concerning him. I think I feel like he's not the same in terms of pace. At one point in time, he was express pace. He's not that anymore. I think he's struggling with that, and also moving forward, I think his partnership with with Pepe was not as good as you expect, because the kind of style that Arteta has. If you see Saka and Tierney on the left, there's a lot more chemistry over there. But with Pepe and Bellerin, there wasn't enough chemistry. So I thought going forward, even defensively, I thought he had a poor game. I thought he was one of the more poor performances by Arsenal in the game. So I'll give him a 5 on 10. I want to give him more, but I can't. I just can't.
And no, I think you're generous because, like, not personally, but from Arsenal's perspective, Arsenal fans, I think he's the most unpopular guy right now, Bellerin. Like, for
Yeah,
this whole
yeah,
season, I think he's the most unpopular guy. Seen YouTube, even like Arsenal fans that we know, no one's happy with this guy. Like, I think he has a few bright moments here and there, but generally, I don't know, just not focused enough. He needs to get his mind right, and like you said, the pace as well. It's dipping
yeah,
kind of. So I
yeah.
think yeah, he'll have to work on that. So 5 out of 10 for Bellerin. Moving on to Rob Holding.
Rob Holding, I thought he should have done better with that effort. I think he should have. I don't know. I mean, everyone's just saying it's Rob Holding's fault, but like you said, it is a little bit of both.
Yeah,
But
I
I
felt
think,
that.
I think that he should have done a little bit better over there overall in general as well. He should have known that Sterling is around the corner, like he's around there. I mean, you can't have someone like a Sterling who's a shorter guy compared to Holding and stuff to be
Exactly.
able to go over like that and get that free header.
The
So
first
I
thing
was
you
on.
see when you see the goal is like, how did Sterling get over him and score that header? How did Sterling score a header and now is he
Yeah.
so free?
Exactly, and that's why it's unfortunate. But I think apart from that, I thought he had a decent game. I thought he was pretty solid overall. But I mean, you have to dock off points for that goal. So I'm gonna give him a 5.5 on 10.
5.5 out of 10 for Rob
I
Holding.
thought he
And
was
then
good. I thought he was good. Apart from that, I thought him and Mari.
they
I thought
grew
they
into the
played well.
game.
They grew
Yeah.
into game very very well.
But
So
then
I
that's
thought,
the goal
but then
which
I have
cost them. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Fair enough. And then Pablo Mari?
I thought Mari, it's his first game in a while. Like he hasn't played in a while, so it's his first start after a while. So I think considering that and considering him coming back from injury, everything, I thought he had a very very good game. Not he wasn't at fault of the goal, and I thought he was communicating well. I thought he was trying to get everyone involved and kind of make everyone maintain their lines and stuff like that. I thought he had a good game, 7 on 10.
Yeah, he didn't make things complicated. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think credit to him for that. Tierney, I think first 5 minutes he had a very bad time with Mahrez, but then he grew into the game and he got better, attacked as well, got a few balls in. Maybe could have worked on that, but apart from that, a decent game. But those first 5 10 minutes were very bad.
I
Like
mean, it
four
killed it,
four.
right? That's when the cross came in, and it was over after that. I mean, unfortunately, he just had a torrid time of it. I don't know if he was just not ready for it. I mean, you can't say he was not ready for it, but I just felt like maybe because he was coming back from an injury, he just didn't expect the pace to be that hard. And Man City is quick, so he just took a few minutes to get us accustomed to it. And it's unfortunate, but I thought moving forward, he was as usual. He was trying to throw those crosses and everything. I expected a little bit better from him defensively, and only for that reason, I'm going to give him a 6 on 10.
6 on 10 for Tierney, and then El Neni, your favorite.
Oh man, El Neni had a shocker. Unfortunately, he lost the ball way too many. He gave away the ball way too many times. He was. I thought he helped the back line a little bit better, but I think when he needed to get out of those critical positions, he gave away the ball way too many times and put unnecessary pressure on the back line, and that's uncalled for. Like you're a defensive midfielder, you need to break the plays out. Plus, you need to move the ball along as much as possibly can do. I thought he was very very poor today. Give him a 5 on 10.
5 on 10. I think the fact that he had to cover what's his name, Gundogan, I think that also took a toll on
Yeah,
him. I
yeah.
think
I think there was a little bit more expectations off of him, and he didn't perform. He didn't deliver.
yep,
There was a
and
good chance for him to stake a claim, but he wasn't able to, unfortunately.
yep. And then moving on to Jaka.
Jaka also, I thought he had an okay game, man. I think he
I
was.
like how you become so like polite after the loss, but before the game, your thoughts are completely different. But yeah,
Of
because
course, like that's kind of how it is. I mean, I think I expected Xhaka to do a little bit more moving forward. I thought he was very very passive when Arsenal needed to like you push the pace, and we expected a little bit more from him. But his passing was too sideways at that time. When we needed to be a little bit more assertive, he was very very passive, which was unfortunate. So yeah, 5.5 on 10. I think he had an okay game.
Yeah, and then moving on to Pepe again, like didn't really keep the ball well. I see the talent there. I see why the price tag,
Yeah.
but it's just not good enough right now from him.
Yeah, I think he's slowly growing into the Premier League. I think it took a lot longer than a lot of people expected. I
Fair
think
enough. Yeah.
people, yeah, people have become very impatient with him. But we are seeing in flashes what he's capable of doing. At the same time, I think he has to improve his ball keeping ability. He needs to be a little bit more. I think that he enjoys going cutting inside. I think he has to try to do a little bit more. He has to be a little bit more dynamic in his gameplay. He shouldn't. It's becoming very one dimensional. I think people are expecting him to cut in and take the shots, and I think he has to try to do a few things a little bit
Yeah,
differently,
variate
and he has
more.
to, yeah, he has exactly variate a little bit more, and he has to improve his partnership with Bellerin as well. I think both of them were at fault when we say chemistry. I think it's both people's fault, and I think even Bellerin was poor. I think even Pepe wasn't trying enough. I just felt like they didn't want to pass it to each other, which was odd. So I think on the basis of that, I'm going to give him a 5.5 on 10.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. That link up play is very important, and that was kind of missing. I think that's a really good point. And then moving on to Odegaard.
Odegaard, I thought I still think that he still hasn't understood the pace of the Premier League yet. I think it's just been a couple of games since he's really started, but
Yeah.
again, his flashes of brilliance is there. But I thought City played him very very smartly. I thought when he was trying to go into those pockets, they were putting a player on him even if he didn't have the ball, which I thought I saw it a few times. It happened every time he was trying to get in those channels, get in those pockets of space. Someone was just running towards him and not allowing someone like a Jaka or an Elneny to pass it to him so that he can create a little bit more, which I thought was, if it was tactical, I thought it was brilliant. I think that Pep Guardiola nailed that decision. I think that was huge, and it didn't allow him to get involved in the game as much as Arteta would have liked, and that's I think the reason. It was we barely saw him. He was almost anonymous, I think, because of that reason. But I noticed that happen a couple of times, which I thought was interesting. So
Hmm.
I'll give him a 6 and 10, but I think I expected a lot more from him.
6 on 10 for Odegaard. And then moving on to your player of the match, I think for me, it was Bukayo Saka. I think he was very impressive, a lot of
Absolutely.
energy. I think even when Arsenal were in a torrid run, he was very impressive. So, your thoughts on his performance in this game?
He's been the player of I mean, along with Leno, I think this season I think Saka has been phenomenal. Irrespective of how Arsenal has been doing as a team, I think he's been absolutely consistent. He's been running in. He's been trying as hard as he possibly can. He's been banging those goals, assists every day. I mean, of course, it didn't happen in the game, but in the game against City. But I think he was the only thread that made City just sweat a little bit at least. Apart from that, I think that nobody else was able to have that kind of an impact. So I thought he had a very good game, considering all players in the red around him. So I think I'll give him an 8 on 10.
8 on 10 for Saka. And then Aubameyang from hat trick to kind of invisible in this game. Your thoughts on his
Yeah,
performance?
I thought that there was he tried to come back and create something and get involved in the play, but I just felt like there was no service to him. One and two, I think that whatever little I'd be interested to see how many touches he had in this game, because he was just like you said, very anonymous. I thought that he kept slipping in and out of the game, which I didn't like. I think that he was not assertive enough. Yes, I thought he had a very poor game overall. I expect a lot more from him because he's the captain of the team, and I think that when the chips are down, I think someone like an Aubameyang has to kind of really take the initiative to try and bring Arsenal back, and try and link up more, create a little bit more. If he's not able to get the service, maybe try something different. Just jump into his pockets of squares, which he didn't do.
That's
I
the
thought.
key, man. That's the key because like the service thing, I also agree. Like he could have had better service, but Aubameyang is not only an out and out striker. He can come from the left flank. He can come from the right. He has the pace. I think he needs to use that. If he knows that it's not coming, why don't you just start attacking the fullbacks, and then maybe someone from like Odegaard can go into the center and he can score the goal. But
Yeah.
try something because you have so much talent. I think use that pace, use that skill to attack the fullbacks at least. Like if that's not working, if you're not getting the service right in front as a striker.
Yeah, I think again, like he was again. I think with along with Bellerin and Pepe, just the three very very poor performances of the night. I mean, I don't by any stretch of the imagination think that he's finished, because that's the narrative on Twitter right now.
No,
But I
no, he
think
just
that
scored a hat trick.
yeah,
So I wanted
yeah.
to say
So
that, like, but I can't because I mean
yeah.
he scored a hat trick. But it's just that in these games he needs to, if he's not getting service, he needs, like you said, he needs to try something different.
In some big games I've seen him become anonymous like this a little bit, so I think I need him to be a little bit more assertive in big games. I'm not saying that in all big games, in a few you see that, and I just feel like when he's not getting, when he's starved of that kind of possession, sometimes just loses the ability to kind of try something different. Maybe that's something that he can work on. And but for this particular game, 5 on 10.
5 on 10 for Aubameyang. And then just quickly the subs: Smith Rowe for Odegaard and Lacazette for Pepe.
Lacazette. I mean, when Lacazette came, I obviously Oba moved a little bit more to the left, but it still wasn't good enough, unfortunately, because even Lacazette wasn't able to kind of link up those plays and create what little we needed from him. I mean, he didn't have enough time as well, but I
There's
mean,
a
I think.
a couple of good positions he had. He lost the ball, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and he loses the ball a little way too much. I think he needs to hold the ball a bit better. I mean, I think okay performance, 6 on 10 for Laka, and for Smith Rowe, I thought he again in flashes, just for a couple of chances, he looked a little bit decent. But I just feel like Smith Rowe is kind of guy who needs 20-30 minutes to kind of grow into a game, and he didn't have that much time, unfortunately. So I didn't think he could have done much with the few minutes that he had. So another 6 on 10 for him as well.
So 6 on 10 for both the subs, and then your man Arteta, formerly Pep's assistant.
Yeah, I think Arteta, it's hard this one for him because Pep knows him very well. So I guess some of those things must have, but I think he tried as much as he could. I think you can't blame him for the 10 minutes where Arsenal was so poor in the beginning and gave away that goal. I take a draw. I take a 0-0 draw, which would have probably been the case had they not been so sloppy in the first 10 minutes. It is unfortunate, but I thought Arteta was okay. 7.5 on 10.
7.5 out of 10 for Arteta. Yeah, that wraps up Arsenal's player ratings. I think pretty fair assessment there. Maybe could have given a few players a bit less, but no, I'm joking. You did a good job. Really good explanations there. Your thoughts now? I mean, you asked me about City's ratings.
I'm just
I can be full biased if I want to, but I'll try to be fair,
man. Fair enough. Edison in goal.
He's chilling, bro. Like, I think I'll give him 7 just for the clean sheet. Like, like he didn't do anything. It's probably like a 5 performance plus 2. He gave a nice ball. This guy has some nice passes, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't mind.
His distribution out of the world.
Yeah, like I always used to think De Gea has good distribution when he started, like in the Ferguson time. But this guy is just unbelievable. His distribution is really good. Yeah, I think I'll give him 7 out of 10 just for the clean sheet, man.
Fair enough. Diaz?
Oof. Diaz, I think, he was really good, solid. He's City's game changer in this whole season, I think. I think very. What was it? Some great tackles, I think, in the end. Like when Arsenal were attacking, he didn't let that final ball come in. You know what I mean? So I think Diaz, I'd give him 8 out of 10.
Fair enough. Stones?
Stones 9 out of 10, bro. He had Aubameyang in his pocket, man, the whole game. Like I think he did his job. He's impressed me also a lot. There's a lot of talk of him. He has that pressure of that English price tag and everything. But I think he's matured. When he needs to get forward, he gets forward. He can score those headers as well. He can score those goals. But at the back, he's been very clinical so far. I think that partnership with Diaz is brilliant. Great chemistry. I just gave him an extra point. I just felt he was more on the ball as well. So that's why I'm giving that extra point. But I think both defenders were solid at the back.
Fair enough. Cancelo?
Cancelo, I'll give him a 7. I think he was solid defensively, to be very honest with you, but he did get a yellow card. I think that was a kind of reckless challenge. And also forward, he got an amazing chance. He didn't score. I'm not deducting that he should have. I'm not deducting points because he should have scored. But apart from that, I didn't really see him attack as much. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just felt that the attack was coming from Zinchenko and Sterling's side. So I think a good performance, nothing to complain about. I really like him as a player. I think he's an excellent fullback right now. And I think 7 out of 10. Maybe that yellow card deducted a few points.
Yeah, fair enough. Zinchenko?
Zinchenko 8. I think he linked up really good with Sterling at the back. He was decent as well. I saw him on the ball a lot. Maybe I got confused because him and Kevin De Bruyne do look alike, but from far. But he was on the ball as well. You saw him link with De Bruyne as well. You saw him link with Sterling going forward. And at the back, I think he did his job. I don't think they got past him much. So I'd give him 8 out of 10 for Zinchenko.
Yep. Moving to midfield, Fernandinho.
Fernandinho, 8 out of 10. This he broke down
The
play.
ball again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good game. I think he didn't let Odegaard free. He kept him. He kept him there, and
Yeah.
he kept when the fouls were needed, he put in those fouls. He kept the ball well as well. So yeah, I think 8 out of 10 for Fernandinho.
Yeah, I think he had a massive, massive game. And then the series recent for the past few games, player of their team, Ika Gundogan.
Gundogan again, man, he gets into really good spaces. I think just this time he missed the finishing, so I will deduct points for that. I think he's had a stellar month of football. I think he's
Yeah.
been unbelievable. And again, I saw him get into really good space. Could have scored a couple of goals if he wanted to early on. But
Right.
yeah, I'll deduct a few points. I'll probably give him 7 out of 10 because he didn't finish. But yeah, I think you have to give him credit for getting into those positions.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. And then the comeback guy, Kevin De Bruyne.
Excellent, man. If that was this is just his comeback, and I think unbelievable, really good link up play. His touch passes. He almost scored as well, I think, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, class player, bro, and he showed it yesterday. You didn't see that much rustiness. I think Pep handled him well. Just gave him an hour, got him into the game,
Yeah.
and slowly bring him in. He didn't play him full. I think credit to Pep for that. And yeah, I'll give him an extra point just because he's coming from injury. 8 out of 10. I think it was a 7 out of 10 performance, but some
Yeah.
world class passes there, and he's coming from injury, so I'll give him that extra point.
Fair enough. Moving on to Raheem Sterling.
I hope I'm fair enough, but Sterling could have scored a hat trick, bro. I think he was constantly putting pressure on the Arsenal defense. He was playing really well. That I always complain about his finishing. I think he can score a lot of more goals than he actually does. But I'll give him a lot of credit for that header. To get in between with that height with those two defenders and get an open header like that. Gives credit to his positioning. He's very quick. Pace is amazing. Gets into really good positions. Link up play with Zinchenko, excellent. For me, it was a 9 out of 10 performance. I think he could have scored two more, so I would have given him a 10. But he was the decider. He was the match winner, so I'll give him 9 out of 10.
Fair enough. Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, I don't think he got a yellow card as well. He didn't create too much in the final third. Like he could have. I think he didn't get those shots away that you usually see him doing. Even those killer passes he didn't get through. I think it was a 6 on 10 performance. I'm a bit harsh on him, but yeah, I expect a bit more because in these kind of games, if Arsenal got that equalizer, then he would have been the guy to be picked on, because he needs to create more as well, put that pressure. So yeah, I think there were periods where City weren't as effective, and maybe he was kind of the reason, but nothing to take away from him. I think he's a great player. Just this game wasn't his greatest compared to the others. I think I'd give him 6 out of 10.
Fair enough. And finally, Riyad Mahrez.
Riyad Mahrez, bro, he gave the assist, right, for the goal.
Yeah.
I think he was a terror in the first 3 minutes. He was unbelievable, changed the game. I'd give him 8 out of 10 just for that assist. And I think that momentum, right? They got that momentum. It wasn't, he had the ball 2-3 times even before the goal, twice, I think, once or twice. So yeah, I think he created that momentum, took the attack to Arsenal. That's very important. People say that, okay, fine, it's just one goal early on, but it's very important to get that momentum. And he started that. I think Diaz is the one, or someone pinged it from the back and for that goal, and then he took it. But yeah, he was at the fullbacks. His trickery, good pace as well. So I give him credit. I think he's been a bit inconsistent this season, but I'll give him credit for this game. Some good passes there and assists. So I'll give him 8 out of 10 for Mahrez.
Fair enough. And the only substitution was Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, I think he looked good. He set up Cancelo, I think, for it should have been an assist. Yeah, it should have been an assist, but he didn't do too much wrong. I think one shot he hit it over, but yeah, I hope for him, for his sake, he starts scoring more, because this is the opportunity. There's no Aguero there. Aguero might be. I think there's rumors that he's going to be leaving at the end of the season. So I mean, he needs to step up and make the mark. This is the best chance for him. So he just needs to start scoring those goals. I think even if it's not those classy goals, sometimes maybe he goes for glory. But I think the talent is there. But I think he just needs to make those simple finishes, and then after that he can work his game. So I think
it's important to be consistent, I think, and that's his big issue.
And this is the golden opportunity, man, because look at Gundogan. He came, what is he doing? Yes, he's getting to great space. They're playing beautiful football, but he's scoring goals, and now he's in everyone's FPL team. He's in Pep starting 11. Everything has changed. So goals are important, especially if you're a striker. So and Gundogan's not even his default. So but he's playing in that position. So I think that's what Jesus should learn from that and just try to take that opportunity. But yeah, I'll give him 6 on 10. Didn't do much wrong.
Fair enough. And finally, the player, the guy who you think is the manager of the decade, Pep Guardiola.
I'll just rate him on this game. Like I have a lot of thoughts about him and his team and like the resources he has, but I think it was a 9 on 10 performance. I think tactics were spot on. I don't think actually nine. I'll give him 8 out of 10. The reason for that, 8 out
So
of
much
10.
hatred.
No, it's not hatred. I just felt because it was 1-0, and I think they kept Arsenal in that game. I think they should have finished it off a bit earlier. Yes, I'm being critical, maybe, but I don't mean to be biased. It's just that I feel that it could have cost them. So I'll give him 8 out of 10. But I think he tactically was really good. I think that De Bruyne substitution was very good. He got in Jesus. I didn't think he did anything tactically wrong, but I don't know what it is. I just think, that performance wasn't the perfect City performance. That's why I'm taking. Maybe it's not his fault, but like he's the manager, so I give him. But tactically and everything, he was spot on. And I think the way they defended has been excellent. The way they're working on the defense in the last 3-4 months has changed their season. So credit to Pep Guardiola. I think right now he's killing it and his team's killing it.
Absolutely. I think that wraps it up. Looking forward to another exciting week of football. But I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think we covered it, man. A lot of fun. Hopefully, I'll catch you for the next set of games and the next player ratings.
100%.